Welcome back to Real Big Talk. Rick and Lola back in the studio. It's very convenient that Heritage Port is about a 90-second walk, but it is a beautiful day outside. So as your work day comes to an end, consider, if you haven't already, going down there supporting. You heard Chuck C. You just asked me about him as soon as I walked in the door. Animated, fun, colorful, all those types of things. Like, why do you like going to the, to the hibachi? It's a show. Mm-hmm. It's a show. And I'm pretty sure this guy is going to put on an Alabama barbecue show, which is something I never thought I would say. But I found out it does exist, and I would imagine that is the guy to deliver it. So go out and enjoy the rib and chicken cook-off tonight or this weekend. Lola, plug your friend. You said you have a band, a friend that's playing in a band tonight.
Right, Sarah Hayes Band. My neighbors across the street, Bob plays in the band. So, and they usually, they do a lot of gigs in Belmont County. So I don't have an opportunity to see them that often. So I'm really happy that they're playing tonight, and I get to see them again after a year and a half. It'll be wonderful.
It feels, because we've talked. At this point, unfortunately, our lives are we're never going to be able to forget this period of COVID time. But I can't reiterate enough how good it feels to actually be over at Heritage Port and doing something and seeing people.
I know.
I know. Yeah, even if you don't go eat, just go. Just go walk around. Sit on the wall.
Every single weekend, this entire summer, there is something to do down there. Every single weekend.
It drives me nuts when people, and this isn't a Wheeling thing or a Parkersburg thing or any particular place, but everybody has those people that continuously moans.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do. There's something to do every weekend.
Yeah.
Like, Wheeling actually has it better than a lot of places. Go to Logan County and see if there's something to do every weekend. Spoiler alert, there isn't. There isn't. Ohio County has certainly an opportunity. I do want to mention this too, because I don't want to get it lost in the shuffle, because I think it's something a lot of people would enjoy as well. And here's the great thing. You actually can go to the Rib and Chicken Cook-Off tonight, and you can go to the Strawberry Festival tomorrow. There's actually plenty of things to do happening over in Martins Ferry. It's going on tomorrow from noon to 10 on 4th Street. So strawberry shortcake, beer and wine, craft vendors, food trucks, car show, and go, do both.
That is our plan.
Yeah.
Rib and chicken today, Strawberry Festival tomorrow.
I like a lady with a plan.
It's been a long time since I've had to come up with one.
I know, it's crazy. I think it was Chuck that I was talking to. It's like people, I don't think people realize how much they miss each other until they see them again. You can go, man, I miss seeing my friends. And we all did that. God knows I missed a lot of my friends, especially ones that live in other states that I wasn't going to travel. At some points we weren't even allowed, or supposed to travel. And when you see people again that you haven't seen for the first time, even if they weren't like the closest of friend, boy, you are excited to see them like
my
that.
goodness, how are you?
Yeah. No, it's. I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. It's a nice event that they have cooking over there, and I hope people go. I hope a ton of people go.
I found out yesterday Beast of the East is back, which is phenomenal for all the hotels and restaurants and that kind of stuff around here over the 4th. So I'm really happy that is coming back too.
One of the things that, and I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but they don't realize, I think it was maybe Michelle, people don't realize how important these types of things are economically to what we're doing. And then again, like I said, you have the people out there that are just miserable. It's nothing to do. The streets are terrible. Everything stinks. But you do realize that the more commerce that's created, the bigger opportunities the city has to grow. So if you don't like what's happening now, if it's not enough for you or it's not the thing that you would do, if you don't support the things that we have, getting new things is even harder. Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yeah, it's even harder. I challenge you to go to too many other cities, especially in West Virginia, and find one that has things every weekend. Every weekend. And that's the thing, like, you know, if you're a vegetarian, you can still go to the Strawberry Festival. I mean, there's just enough. There is enough. There is enough. It just needs supported by as many as possible to actually do this. So I congratulate everybody involved over there. I know that stuff takes a lot of planning. It was nice to talk to Chad for a little bit from the city standpoint of how excited the city is to be welcoming these types of things back. I can't imagine. I'm not going to speculate. I mean, just to say that Chad and Glenn well would be a lie, but I know them enough to see them every Wednesday and chat with them for a little bit. Whether you like what they do or not, whether you voted for the guys or not, you can say this. They care. They care a tremendous amount. And part of what is great for a functioning society, you'll never convince me that entertainment isn't one of the most important things.
Oh, I agree with you.
For a society.
Yeah.
When we look how awful we were when we weren't entertained. I mean, seriously, it's not that far in the rearview mirror. When on my Ticketmaster app, and I'm very fortunate because a lot of times I don't actually have to buy tickets to things because of what I do, and I appreciate how lucky I am for that. But there are certain things that I know that I don't want to risk not being able to go see. So in my inbox or in my folder of my Ticketmaster app, I've got tickets to see Motley Crue, which I complain about all the time. That's not happening until 2022. You don't think that matters? I cry about it every time I open that app. And I pray that Mick Mars is alive. Although I don't know, I'm sure Mick Mars has been alive for 10 years. But whatever cryogenic chamber they're keeping him in, as long as he is able to go out there on stage. And Vince Neil took a lot of heat because he can't sing. Vince Neil stinks. He's a great frontman who no longer can sing. I don't care. That's how much that particular thing means to me. I've got Rage Against the Machine tickets. Again, something else that's postponed until 2022. But when we didn't have anything, when we were like, oh, that show's not going to happen and everything's shut down, we live in a world where there's 150 at least readily available TV apps that you can download. We have 197,000 channels.
Not a damn thing to watch.
There's never anything on. We can download games to our phone. I mean, remember back in the day when you had to play Pong? That was pretty exciting if you were lucky enough to have Pong. Now we have every entertainment opportunity at our fingertips, and you know what we do? We bitch and moan that there's nothing to do.
Well, it's true about TV.
No,
there's nothing to watch.
I mean, I think what happened with TV is that we got so overloaded with so many things that nothing seems. It's like, I'm sure you've dealt with this in your life, whether it's been with a partner, your sister, anybody else, your son. What do you want to eat? I don't know.
Oh,
what do you want to eat?
I
don't care.
That is the absolute worstest question. I mean, what do you want to watch on TV? But what do you want to eat? And then it doesn't matter what the person that is left with the choice picks. Everybody grouses. I didn't want that. Well, you should have said you didn't want that.
There's always somebody that wants a salad. That makes me real mad. It's like, well, I'll just eat a salad then. Hey, you want to eat what my food eats? Go ahead.
I know,
but I'm eating barbecue.
Rabbit food, that's what I
Yeah, I'm eating barbecue. So you have at it. Whatever it is, you have at it. But yeah, that is, I bet that, I wish there was a study to tell us how many people have broken up, whether it be marriages or just relationships that have broken up over, I can't stand that you don't know what you want to eat for dinner. So I think that that's part of, there's so much entertainment on television or via app or internet or however you want to look at it. I think we were just like, nothing sounds appealing because everything's an option. If I came home from school and I asked what was for dinner, it was, well, we're having chicken. Take it or leave it. Your options are two.
Yeah.
Have dinner.
Or not.
Or don't have dinner.
Yeah.
Now we have so many options of things to look at and to occupy our time. Nothing is overly appetizing because it's actually a flooded marketplace.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Mom's Kitchen. This or nothing your choice. Dealer's choice today. So that I think is part of that. But anyway, go out and entertain yourself this weekend. Strawberry Festival and Rib and Chicken Cook-Off. We'll take this quick break. We are going to get into the big topics of the day. The biggest one, I would think, is Derek Chauvin is expected to be sentenced today. That may happen while we're in the course of the show. If it does, we will certainly go to that immediately. But we'll take your calls on anything. It's a wild card Friday. 304-214-1600. This is the Watchdog.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for a statewide talk line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to
This guy knows so much about sports. They based the Sports Almanac from Back to the Future off of his dream journal. He's Bill DeFabio, weekdays noon to 2 on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, The Watchdog.
Stuck inside these four walls, sent inside forever, never seeing no.
323 here at the Watchdog. Rick and Lola, real big talk on a Friday afternoon, 304-214-1600. Available to you in several places on the Information Superhighway. You can find us at watchdognetwork.com. Also, the show is on our live stream on both Facebook and YouTube. So you can go to our Facebook page, click the like button. When you get over to the Watchdog, you'll see our logo. It's a bulldog with a red spiked collar, and like that, then you'll be notified every time the live shows come on. You can actually comment in the section as well, and I read them during the breaks. So if you want to communicate with us, not via phone, but via internet, you can do that. Also send us a direct message. Big story of the day, and it could absolutely happen any minute, let alone before the show is over. But Derek Chauvin is going to be sentenced in George Floyd's murder today. What is happening in the courtroom most recently, Chauvin's mother was on the stand and called her son a good man. Talked about how he was always dedicated to the police department. Even on his days off, he would call and see if they needed help. I can't imagine. Also, my son's identity has also been reduced to that of a racist. I want this court to know that none of these things are true and that my son is a good man. That's the quote from Chauvin's mother. I've seen a lot of posts today. Normally, I would have spent most of the 1 o'clock hour going through, just seeing what people say, because I'm interested. The human reaction to things is something that has always interested me, whether they be good, bad, indifferent, whatever. And some of the people that I've seen that think that Derek Chauvin was doing police officer things, their defense is, well, the liberal media makes you think he's a murderer. No, a video actually of him murdering a man makes me think he's a murderer. It has nothing, like, no media, regardless of its lean, could change the way that video looks. I mean, that to me is and I get it. And look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. My opinion matters nothing other than to me. And so, everybody's opinion is their opinion. You're allowed to have whatever opinion you have, but I don't think there's any dispute in that. It's not a liberal spin. The guy killed this man in front of a bunch of people on a video. I can't imagine what it's like to be his mother. I can't imagine what it's like to be anybody's mother in this situation. All bad. Nobody wins in all of this. I would imagine Derek Chauvin's mother is wrecked as a human. And I'm not, again, that you can still have sympathy for this woman didn't do it. She might be a good lady, she might be a bad lady, I don't know. But I'm sure as a mother, her life is just absolutely wrecked. I don't know that there's anything anybody could say, including a mom in this situation, Lola. And you know what that feels like. There's nothing I don't think anybody can say at this point for Chauvin to not get sentenced quite heavily.
Oh, no. But as a mom, that's your child and you love them. You may hate what they did. It may just completely disgust you, but on some level, you love your child. And I can't even imagine. And, I kind of, looking back, when Eric was younger, there were things he did that I was embarrassed, that, oh my God, I can't believe my child did that. But it didn't change in the end how I felt about him. And this is like just a billion times worse. But it is her child. And you can't downplay the feelings that she has. And like you said, she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's not like he was respected and, had a career. So you can't, somewhere she did something right.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, the situation in its entirety, to me, has a lot of different angles and levels. And like you just heard Lola say, she's a mom. She's a mom. She doesn't have to like what happened. Nobody does. I don't think anybody likes it. Nobody likes it. Nobody's cheering him on. There are people defending him somehow, but nobody's cheering him on. But at the end of the day, this woman is a mom. She's his mom. And no one wants to believe that. I think of the things that I'm sure I've done in my life that have embarrassed my own mother. I'm sure. I know it. I can think of them. Some of them I'm just too embarrassed to tell you about. But I can't imagine that my mother would never, ever, in the face of something especially so awful, wouldn't come to my defense and say the same thing. No, I would never do what Derek Chauvin did to another human being. I honestly, even more than just I think that I don't want to be someone who takes another person's life, I am more passive than that. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be the person that did it. But the idea of this woman being able to get up in front of a court and say, you know, my son is a good man, that's who he is to his mother. And, you know, I'm reading people's chatter about how could she say that? How could she say that he's a good man? Well, because to her, he is. He's probably a man that made a mistake. He's a man that made a colossal mistake. But in a mother's eyes, he's a good man. This is not going to change the course of this sentencing. Some of the other people that have spoke during the course of this Chauvin sentencing, you had Chauvin's brother, who asked the court for the maximum sentence. I don't think anybody is shocked by that one. Another brother said that he relives his brother being tortured to death every hour of every day. You can't tell other people how to feel. I don't know if that's true or not, but if he does, I can't imagine what it's like to be in the center of this. I mean, I'm a guy that has to talk about it, and it's difficult. I can't imagine what it's like to be in the center of this. The most damning thing, and it's, you know, it's what they had to use, and they used it, was George Floyd's young daughter via cell phone video telling the court that she asks about her daddy all the time. She's a kid. I'm sure she does. I don't know how you hide what's happening from a kid. I don't even think it's possible. You know, I don't think it's possible.
Not in this day and age.
No.
And I know that this discussion started back during the Iraq War, the first Iraq War. How do you explain to kids when it's on all the time? Yeah. And it's only, that problem has gotten 1 billion times worse. So yeah, I don't envy anybody that has to deal with telling their kids something and explaining it when there's really no logical explanation for it. You know, I don't know. I don't envy parents these days.
No.
I don't know how I mean, life was so easy back when Eric was a little kid.
Yeah,
you know?
life was easier for me when I was a little kid because I didn't know any of this stuff existed. I'll be the first to admit there are things in this world that I'm naive about, and I'm actually okay with that. The things that I don't realize sometimes are a blessing in disguise.
Yep.
A blessing in disguise. I spent so much of my life in the rock and roll business, I can assure you I've been around every drug that exists. I wouldn't know one from the other or how you did it. I mean, I get it, that you smoke pot. That part I understand. Other than that, if someone's like, hey, do you want to try this? I'm like, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. Please get it away from me. So and that's okay with me. That's okay. I'd rather stay naive. Even as a middle-aged man, I'd rather stay naive. But I feel awful for kids, especially George Floyd's kid. Look, wherever you sit on this George Floyd thing, whether you think Chauvin going to prison for 30 years is justified or he was just doing police things, the polar opposite. Whatever you think it is, you cannot get rid of the fact that a young girl doesn't have a dad and that Derek Chauvin's mom is going to lose her son to prison. Those things are sad facts.
At least he's alive.
But he is alive. He is alive. He just actually, for the first time, I believe, in all of this, just made a statement.
He did? They weren't sure he was going to.
Derek Chauvin said, quote, I want to give my condolences to the Floyd family. There's going to be some other information in the future that would be of interest, and I hope things will give you some peace of mind. That is the update. I don't know if that was all that he said, but that is what just came up.
Well, that's cryptic.
Very much so. I mean, it's almost to the point where in television, they call that a cliffhanger to bring you back the next week. Who shot JR? I mean, that was the pivotal cliffhanger in my childhood. Just so you know, the court has taken a 15-minute recess, and we're going to go ahead. We'll do the same. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the other topics of the day. There's a biggie going down in Georgia. Didn't see this coming from Attorney General Merrick Garland. So we'll discuss that, and we'll probably have Bob coming up here from WTRF all in the next 15 minutes or so. Stay right here on the Watchdog.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. State School Superintendent Clayton Birch says right now he would have to give the state schools for the deaf and blind a failing grade.
We can do so much better, and the expectations there should be so much better. With so few students, if you choose to send your child there, you should expect the absolute best education, best facilities, and honestly, the best future plans for your child.
Birch from Metro News Talkline earlier today, a day after a report was released in connection with a recent review of the operation in Romney. Governor Jim Justice has a message for the latest knights and ladies of the Golden Horseshoe.
Just come up with some way somehow to stay here in this great state, and absolutely invest in their communities and make this great state even richer in every way.
Justice delivering that message via video today to the top performing 8th graders who scored the highest on the Golden Horseshoe West Virginia history exam. 3 separate in-person ceremonies are being held in Charleston today. A federal prosecutor has indicated he will charge former state lawmaker Derek Evans through an information in connection with the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. That information process indicates Evans is cooperating with prosecutors. A Cabell County Circuit judge says a man's going to prison for the rest of his life after his conviction on 20 criminal counts, including attempted murder. Jeremy Bartram was sentenced today. Police hunted for him for a week after the 2018 shooting in Barbersville. Again, sentenced today in Cabell County Circuit Court. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Very little movement today in COVID-19 case numbers in West Virginia. The state DHHR reports only 60 new cases in the past 24 hours and no additional deaths. The North Marion High School baseball team has never appeared in the state tournament until today. Now the Huskies are headed to the AA title game after defeating Independence 7-2. They'll take on either Herbert Hoover or Logan tomorrow. Now, those two teams are playing this hour. You can watch the game at WVMetroNews.com. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff James.
This is your VSIN Action Update on the Watchdog. This Action Update is brought to you by Keeps. Tired of losing your hair? Get 50% off for your first order at Keeps.com/VSIN. Keeps.com/VSIN.
Pirates and Cardinals continue their series today at Busch Stadium. Yesterday, the Pirates opened with an 8-2 win over the Cardinals as a $1.45 underdog. The total of 9 went over at 10. Today, the Cardinals, a $1.70 favorite to end their 4-game losing streak. It'll be Kwang Hyun Kim pitching for the Cardinals against Will Crow of the Pirates, plus 145. The total, 9 over at Busch Stadium. The PGA Tour's Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands. Satoshi Kodaira, 7 under par. He shares a first-line lead with Kramer Hickok. Kodaira 16-1, Hickok 25-1. For VSIN.com, I'm Mike Sennett on the Watchdog.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
We can stop the spread of COVID with the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine has been researched and tested. The vaccine is safe and it works. All West Virginians age 12 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is free and it's available at clinics and pharmacies across West Virginia. Find a vaccine location near you. Visit vaccine.wv.gov today to get your free COVID-19 vaccine. Community immunity begins with you.
Value starts here at your Toyota dealer with savings and reliability you can count on. So check out a RAV4 now with up to $750 cash back, or a Camry with up to $1,250 cash back, or go with a Corolla and take up to $1,000 cash back. Visit buyatoyota.com and find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers may vary for hybrid models. See your dealer for details. Offers end July 6th. Toyota, let's go places.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for The Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Welcome back. 3:42 here at the Watchdog on a Friday afternoon. Rick and Lola with you till 5 o'clock. We'll take your calls today, 304-214-1600. We'll take them on any subject you want to talk about. Kind of a different, discombobulated, but for a good reason, kind of Friday. Started the show over at Heritage Port. A great event going on there right now. The Rib and Chicken Cook-Off. Go outside. It is a absolutely phenomenal day. Eat ribs and chicken, or don't eat ribs and chicken, whatever makes anybody happy. I don't want to offend you by pushing my meat beliefs on you, but go. Just go. Go enjoy the beautiful, the river. I mean, everything over there right now is just fantastic. It's a reason to celebrate. I got to throw this to you. And, Lola, I know you grew up around water.
Yes.
And as did I. I mean, in fact, I have now lived on all three rivers, and I don't mean close to them. I mean there. Two of the places I grew up with, I could see the river from my house. So not every city has the luxury of having a nice big body of water. Mm-hmm. It actually really makes this event, and all the events at Heritage Port, I mean, obviously it's called Heritage Port for a reason. There's the word port is there for a reason. But it's something to celebrate. I think sometimes people don't care that this mighty river runs through the middle of this city, and it's cool. It's cool. It adds to the ambiance of what's happening over there. So as the evening rolls around, there's entertainment all night tonight, I think till, 10 o'clock? Mm-hmm. Yeah, or maybe, I can't.
It might even be 11.
I was going to say, I think it might, now I said that, I think it might be 11. I think it starts at 4:30. 4:30 or 5:30, I can't remember. I didn't bring the sheet with me. It was actually just stuck on my table and somebody else put it back. But yeah, I remember there's live free entertainment all night. Free entertainment. There was a guy walking by, and I'm not pointing this out for a bad reason. I just, a guy walked by, stopped and asked a few questions, and I have headphones on because I'm communicating with Lowell, getting ready to go back to the breaks. And he was talking to some of the other folks that were there with us, and he was asking radio questions. And someone said, "Oh, you should eat." And he said, "I really got low funds. I can't afford to eat anything necessarily." But that's one of the things that for this, the entertainment is free. You don't have to have a dime in your pocket to go down and listen to some music. And they're local entertainers. So even if, throw them a buck or two if you can. I'm sure they would appreciate it, but it's free.
That's right.
Yeah, get out and enjoy this entertainment for free. Celebrate the water, celebrate the entertainment, celebrate the return of things. I think you'll be happy that you did. Don't forget, we'll give you the information about the Strawberry Festival as well, because again, there's plenty of things to do. Strawberry Festival in Martins Ferry. It is happening tomorrow on the 26th, noon to 10 p.m. on 4th Street. If it's strawberry, they got it. Strawberry shortcakes, beer and wine, craft vendors, food trucks. There's a car show, which I'll go to a car show any day.
Their car show is huge.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really nice, and they've got free entertainment. They've got inflatables for the kids that they know are going to be sanitized, constantly, and so you don't have to worry about that, And, yeah.
It's wonderful to hear. I just listened to the Metro News update while we were in the break, and only 60 new cases in the entire state, and no new deaths reported. That 60 could probably go down to a handful if more people got vaccinated, but still, and I don't want to make it a vaccination rant. All I'm saying is that's pretty great that it's down to that number.
Well, and if you're not vaccinated now, you can go to the youth center up on Main Street with Reverend Cummings and get vaccinated tomorrow. Drive through, just pull up, give them your name, your information. It's free. You don't even have to get out of your car. You just stick your arm out the window and pop. You're vaccinated. They have all three: Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. So with Johnson & Johnson, it's a one and done.
Yeah, this is a reminder to those that did get vaccinated on the last one. This is your return shot.
Yeah, go back and get your second shot.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. They're going, well, I got one. And yeah, there's no doubt that first one helps protect you. But it is not as full of protection as you can have. The big argument I see from people is like, well, it doesn't work. You could still get it. Here's the thing, though. You don't die. And living is a bonus towards enjoying the rest of your life. It's very helpful. It's very helpful. So Reverend Cummings doing good things, again, in the community. Ton of good things. Just a good guy. But he's got his thing going on tomorrow, North Wheeling Community Dream Center parking lot. Pull up, get the shot. If you have insurance, please present it. If you don't have insurance, you still get the shot for free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, so this is and this is something that I can't believe we all don't agree on this. Because it obviously has turned into a big part of politics.
Yes, it has. It's turned political.
And both Trump and Biden got the shot. That's the part that blows my mind about how it stays political. It's like, even Ted Nugent, who was like, this is fake, though it doesn't matter. Ted Nugent got coronavirus and said, I damn near died.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, that's where I don't understand how this intersects into a political issue, because the people who once fought it now recognize either it's so real I almost died, or in the case of former President Trump, he greenlighted the whole thing. He wanted it done. I think he called it a beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm.
He got it. So why the people that are holding on to not getting it, I just don't get.
I don't understand it either. And Italy now is open. Oh, I saw this morning. You haven't been allowed into the Colosseum in Rome
I saw this, yeah.
ever. And they have now got it to the point where you can go into the basically, they call it backstage, but it actually was below, where the gladiators and the animals and all the gory stuff were kept. And you can now, tourists can get in there. So Italy is opened up. However, you have to have 2 consecutive tests, negative tests, and you have to be vaccinated with proof. So if you plan on doing any traveling anywhere in the world, you're going to have to, and that I think even includes the Caribbean, you're going to have to be vaccinated if you want to do anything like that, so I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. My buddy went to St. Lucia. He got married. Well, it was my friend that got married in March. The reason that I was so hell-bent on getting the vaccine when I got it was because I wanted to attend his wedding. And I would not have otherwise felt comfortable doing that. And he went to St. Lucia, and he found out the day before he'd actually be able to go. Now, at that point, he was not vaccinated, but they did require 2 straight negative tests for him to even come in. Because you can get there, you can get on the plane, but they might not let you in. I mean, go, sorry, pal, you're staying here. So, yeah, I don't understand that again, there's I'm not your guinea pig people and all that kind of stuff. Well, look, at this point, we got to all take personal responsibility. If that's what works for you, that's fine. I wanted to say this too, and I don't know that he's listening because I know he's starting his vacation. I met Mark over at the Heritage Port from the Marshall County who calls and sends us the updates and stuff. It was that was really, because Mark has provided us with a ton of information throughout this whole thing, especially on the Marshall County side of when shots are available and how they're available and where to go and whatever. He's provided us with a ton of stuff. So Mark, if you are listening, nice to meet you and enjoy your vacation. He's taking the week off. He's not going too far, but he is taking the week off. And he was
good for Mark.
Yeah, good for Mark. Because boy, can you imagine people that have been working in the midst of this? I mean, we've been working, but not in the midst of it. And it to me, you can't get enough days off. You couldn't get enough days off. I guess maybe we're not going to hear from Bob about WTRF. So we'll just assume that one of the big stories that they will cover tonight will be the Derek Chauvin verdict, which could come down anytime soon. The last update is the court is still in the recess. Is it happening now?
Well, the judge is speaking, but I don't know that he's actually.
I don't know if this is
handed down the sentence yet or not.
Was he standing? Was Chauvin standing?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, because that'll be the key to that. So we'll obviously keep an eye on this.
You want to take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll see if we can get some sort of assessment here of what's happening, because we will let you know when it happens right here on the Watchdog.
Hi, this is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10:06, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Statewide Talk Line. I'll have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7.
A trial court judge, the job of a trial court judge is to apply the law to specific facts and to deal with individual cases. And so, Mr. Chauvin, as to count 1, based on the verdict of the jury, finding you guilty of unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony under Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 2 paren 1, it is the judgment of the court that you now stand convicted of that offense. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute section 609.04, counts 2 and 3 will remain unadjudicated as they are lesser offenses of count 1. As sentence for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months. This is based on your abuse of a position of trust and authority and also the particular cruelty shown to George Floyd. You are granted credit for 199 days already served. Pay the mandatory surcharge of $78 to be paid from prison wages. You're prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition, or explosives for the remainder of your life. Provided
This concludes this test of the emergency alert system. If this had been an actual emergency, you would have been told where to tune for news and official information. WKKX serves the Wheeling operational area.
.356 here. I know it was an awkward time to take the break, but in case you missed it, 22 and a half years for Derek Chauvin. 22 and a half years broken down into 270 months and then another 150 months. Yeah. So that is the sentencing of Derek Chauvin, 22 and a half years. The maximum I think could have been pressed was I think 30, at least that was what they were. But 22 and a half years, you can never say the punishment fits the crime when one person's alive and the other person isn't. Because it's not, a tit for tat or an eye for an eye or however you want to say it. But 22 and a half years to me, and it's not my judgment to make, but 22 and a half years to me seems right in line with what other people who have taken lives generally have gotten. And the judge, was that live? Because I could hear it in my headphones. Did we play that over the air live?
No.
Okay, so Lola and I were able to hear the actual sentencing. And the judge even made reference to the particular cruelty that Derek Chauvin showed to George Floyd. So at no point, I think, was it ever a case of this is going to turn out lighter than you might think. The way the judge said that. It's certainly a not consequential point of all this, but I think it's so odd to me to hear, and I don't know if anybody else would pick up or think this was even strange. Maybe it's just me because I'm strange. He has to pay $78 in court fines from his prison wages. What could you imagine just hearing you got sentenced to 22 and a half years and it's like, oh yeah, you also got a $78 fine. What a strange combination of things to come right after another, but that's it. Chauvin's going to jail 22 and a half years. You think it's enough?
Well, like you said, he's alive.
Yeah. He has a chance to be alive in 22 and a half years and have some of his life back.
I don't know what their prisons, he might, I don't know how many days he might get off for good behavior and all that kind of stuff. That's all state statute that I don't know what it is. Now somebody here just got sentenced, and it was life without the possibility of parole, life without mercy, Yeah. So they're done. I'm sure he'll be able to apply for parole at some point.
Yeah, I would think so, and it is weird how sentencing works in different places and different things, one state to another. But that is the story. We'll get off that subject and into an entirely group of new ones coming up here next on the Watch Talk.
watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. In a Minneapolis courtroom, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison minus time served in the second-degree murder of George Floyd. Prosecutors had asked for 30 years. The defense had asked for leniency, time served, and probation instead of prison time. ABC's Alex Stone with the moments leading up to today's historic verdict announced by Judge Peter Cahill.
Derek Chauvin sat in court wearing a blue surgical mask and a gray suit, watching George Floyd's family members ask for the maximum sentence. The hearing started with a video of Floyd's daughter Gianna talking about her dad.
What do you miss most about your daddy?
Well, I ask about him all the time.
And then Floyd's brother, Terrence.
I wanted to know from the man himself, why? What were you thinking? What was going through your head when you had your knee on my brother's neck?
Alex Stone, ABC News.
Before the sentence, Chauvin himself addressing the court.
I want to give my condolences to the Floyd family.
Saying he could not give a more detailed statement due to ongoing legal matters. To South Florida and the desperate search through the rubble for survivors after the collapse of a beachfront high-rise. 4 dead, nearly 160 people unaccounted for. Governor Ron DeSantis saying this afternoon, for families and friends of loved ones, this time is excruciating.
When they're unaccounted for, it's a really, really difficult thing. They just don't know.
The investigation into the cause of the collapse in the early stages. Attorney General Merrick Garland announcing that the Justice Department is suing the state of Georgia over recent changes to its election laws, and that the Justice Department is looking at other states' voting law changes as well. A historic blast of heat is about to hit the northwestern U.S., bringing with it triple-digit temperatures. Forecasters say Portland and Seattle will set all-time highs by Monday. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken continuing his swing through Europe with a stop in Paris, saying that the U.S. and France are strong partners with common values.
France gives the meaning. The United States gives the meaning, at least in our best days. Liberty, freedom of speech and thought, equality, every person's right to be treated fairly and with dignity.
The Secretary reaffirming the U.S. commitment to its allies. Earlier this week, Blinken was in Germany, meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Next, he heads to Italy. Iran's supreme leader now inoculated with the COVID-19 vaccine.
Iranian state TV reporting Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini received a domestically developed COVID-19 vaccine on Friday. This happening as the Supreme Leader banned both U.S. and British-made vaccines, saying he would not allow enemies to test their vaccines on the Iranian people. Iran is the hardest hit country in the Middle East, losing over 83,000 Iranians to COVID-19. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk.
10 more states will opt out of enhanced unemployment benefits by the end of the day. In all, 26 states have cut the $300 federal supplement. Governors in those states say money was stopping people from going back to work. All 23 of the nation's biggest banks have passed their annual stress tests. They've been administered yearly since the Great Recession to make sure they can handle an economic catastrophe. This is ABC News.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
This is ONN.
I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network. A controversial amendment was added to a bill in the Ohio House yesterday that deals with permitting college athletes to be paid. Krista Frost with ONN affiliate WBNS TV in Columbus explains.
What that amendment would do is ban transgender athletes from participating in female-related sports. That goes for high school and college sports. With that proposal coming from Representative Jenna Powell, some saying that it's pro-women and not anti-LGBTQ, while others are saying that it's one of the most extreme attacks against transgender people in the country. Now, while this amendment did pass, it is part of a bigger bill centered on student athletes being paid for their name, image, and likeness. Krista Frost from the State House.
That bill moves to the Senate now. There's a separate proposal at the State House dealing with allowing college athletes to be paid. A 17-year-old girl was shot and killed in Columbus last night. Police say her name was Mackenzie Ridley. Columbus has at least 95 homicides this year. That wasn't reached until September 1st of last year. Ohio's Urban Search and Rescue Team, Task Force 1, is on standby and monitoring the efforts in Miami to find people in the rubble of a 12-story condo that collapsed yesterday. Phil Senaway is the unit's public information officer who says it's dangerous, unsettling work.
I have multiple friends here from Ohio Task Force that have been to the World Trade Center. In some ways, most of them never recovered from it.
I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
The best in live and local talk returns momentarily on The Watchdog.
Value starts here at your Toyota dealer with savings and reliability you can count on. So check out a RAV4 now with up to $750 cash back, or a Camry with up to $1,250 cash back, or go with a Corolla and take up to $1,000 cash back. Visit buyatoyota.com and find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers may vary for hybrid models. See your dealer for details. Offers end July 6th. Toyota, let's go places.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday, mostly sunny, a daytime high near 86, overnight low of 71 under partly cloudy skies. You're going to see another muggy day for your Saturday with temperatures near 90 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors. Keeping it real for the right, keeping it real for the left. 100% real talk is right here. Real Big Talk continues. Now on the Watchdog, here's Big Rick.
Welcome back. It's 10 after 4 here on Friday afternoon, heading into a spectacular weather weekend. Going to be warm, but pretty good. It's certainly a good weekend to get out and enjoy all the great things about being here in Wheeling Heritage Port, the spot for the rib and chicken cook-off. It's going on right now. I've already had ribs. I might have more before I leave. It's going on right now. And our guy, Chuck C., he is the guy to go see all the way at the far end near the arena. He is, there's plenty of people and there's plenty of good stuff over there. There's one called Big Girl Barbecue, which is like the first one as you come in from across the street if you're coming past the BB&T and down. And that is the first one in. Also, everything they were doing there looks good. There's local vendors. Chuck C. is from Alabama. They came a long way to let you sample their wares. So go down and enjoy that and get out this weekend. Get out. We missed this. It wasn't so much we missed it. It was on the sheet, but we just didn't get to it. Sometimes the show tends to run away on us and we don't get all the topics in. But how... I would never have imagined this was the way, well, at least this is the beginning of the way, that Rudy Giuliani's career ends, but he's not even allowed to be a lawyer anymore. Not allowed to practice law.
Only in New York. And it's a temporary suspension until the disciplinary board gets together and they decide whether they want to disbar him. But he can still practice in D.C. right now. But yeah, he's, for lying. For lying in court.
Yeah, this is not the way I imagined this would go down for him. I mean, he was America's mayor. He was America's mayor.
He should have stayed mayor.
Yeah, you know what? Boy, hindsight is 20/20 and a lot of things that people should have done. And for Rudy G., that might have been a good idea. I am actually surprised he never actually was the president. He had such momentum. Again, a terrible thing to have momentum because of 9/11. But at the end of the day, he gracefully handled 9/11 to the point where he was dubbed America's mayor. Mm-hmm. And the guy I remember seeing, and I was an adult, but still an idiot kid. I was in college, probably a year too long. I was in college, but I was definitely in college when all of that happened. And, it was... the events were as tragic as they were, the way America acted, and certainly under a lot of the guidance. And I can't imagine what it would be like to do that. I was talking to Chad today, vice mayor here in Wheeling. We were talking a little earlier, and I can't imagine what it's like to guide a city like Wheeling through the pandemic. That's not something that you're like, well, they taught us how to do this in college. Nobody knows how to do this. Well, the same thing with Rudy Giuliani. There is no playbook for a terrorist attack of that magnitude, or probably any terrorist attack, but certainly of that magnitude. And the way he handled it, the way he handled himself, and I'm sure that is thanks to a great team around him. Nobody just comes up with all of that on their own. I'm surprised he never became president, because I think he had every chance to capture a lot of voters because of the way that he handled that. And fast forward to the last, he was Donald Trump's personal attorney. And I think he was on retainer for, $20,000 a day?
Yeah. And then he didn't get paid. You don't pay your tab at a bar. Not, a $20,000 a day. And why do you keep lawyering if you're not getting paid? Why do you keep lawyering for that client?
Well,
if you're not getting paid.
Exactly. If you're not getting paid by that client, I don't care who the client is. This isn't a bash Trump. Trust me, it's not a bash Trump. It's why would you keep working and not getting paid? To me, that is the strange. I get it. He doesn't need the money, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a certain practice to maintain. It's I get paid to do this. I was America's mayor. He probably has a sash that says as such. The idea of right now, like Lola said, I'm the one that goes with the hysterical headline. Lola's the one that actually puts the real information in. But The fact that he can't practice law in New York, to me, is not the way I imagine Rudy Giuliani's career as a lawyer in New York might end. Might not, but might end. To me, this is, I think, an underestimated fall from glory for a guy who seemingly had it all, because before Giuliani was mayor, his story was already fascinating.
Well, as a prosecutor.
As a prosecutor, he brought down organized crime in New York. Well, at least at the time and what it was at the time. I mean, the fact that he lived through that, because I'm just going to throw this out there to you, organized crime doesn't seem like it handles being disrupted very well. And a lot of people end up in the East River. So, it's the fact that he was able to do all the things he did publicly after that, and then become mayor, handle that the way he did, and get to this moment now. I mean, really, the two things we're going to think about towards the end of Giuliani's career, and I'm not wishing any harm on the guy, but the end of the Rudy Giuliani things we think about are a ridiculous display in the movie Borat 2, and possibly being barred from practicing law in his own state.
I have one image that will forever be burned in my brain, and that is when he was standing outside a lawn care place or whatever it was,
You're right.
and his hair melting down his face. That will be permanently etched in my mind.
What was that place called? Because like they told him to book like the something gardens it was, and I don't remember. I don't.
Yes, it's the name of Four Seasons.
The
Four Seasons.
They told him to book the Four Seasons, so they put him outside of a greenhouse, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" So you said to book the Four Seasons. To me, that guy probably got fired, or girl probably got fired.
Well, you think?
It created, but you're right. Maybe the most indelible image speechless. Like, it makes me question every time I have to give somebody else a directive in what I do outside of the radio station. And I think, I just want to make sure that I say this clearly enough that this doesn't happen.
Do you understand me?
Yes. If I tell somebody to go get some Poland Springs, I hope they don't book a flight. Just gets me a case of water.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just give me a case of water. I just need a case of water. Don't book a flight. So yeah, I mean, I never thought that those things would happen, but it just seems to be. And anybody's welcome to chime in on this. I'm not overly defending or sentencing Rudy Giuliani here to anything. It's just, to me, as a public figure, he had way more going for him than these be the three things we can think about. I mean, he brought down organized crime. Do you know what that takes? Watch the documentaries. They're fascinating. They are fascinating. You can get on the next stormy day, find all the documentaries you can on organized crime being brought down in New York, and Rudy Giuliani is the centerpiece of all of it, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic at doing it. I mean, he essentially created racketeering, right? Or I think
the RICOs.
Yeah. He created the RICO case, which now is used a lot. Yeah, a lot and everywhere. I mean, he was the one that said, "I bet we can do this," and then actually successfully did it. And those were the things that were, I think, indelible in my mind until the last couple of years, where I'm just like, what? I mean, to me, it's like Franco Harris playing for the Seahawks. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why would you? I don't know. I'm frustrated for him, and I don't know him. I got no skin in the game. I think it's odd. I think it's mind-numbingly odd that this is how it looks.
Well, this is what happens when you start to believe that you are above everything. He thought nothing could touch him, that, he was, and I believe, true, that he thought he would be protected. And none of that came. I mean, the moment the guy says, "I'm cutting off your retainer," don't pay him is the day he should have gone, I'm done. I am out of here. But he got so swept up in the notoriety, the popularity in some quarters, and that feeling that I can't be touched. Do you know who I am? I cannot be touched. And that's what happens when you start believing your own press releases, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, you're right. Who do you think was sadder that they didn't get protected, Rudy or Joe Exotic? Looking for pardons.
Rudy.
Yeah, I would say too.
I mean, Joe Exotic, he knew he was getting played by Alec. And if you knew anything about the family, you knew that there was only one kid that could pull any strings, and that was Ivanka. You know, so just because Alec says he's going to do something for you, no, I wouldn't trust him any further because he literally is, chip off the old block.
I read, did you see this story at all? But I've read a few stories, and again, you take the source into consideration, and I don't want to quote one because I don't remember, but I saw two different stories about it, in two different places. Like Ivanka is kind of moving away.
Oh yeah, her and Jared are.
Yeah, they're kind of I don't know if they're getting, I wouldn't say they're getting out of the spotlight, but I think they're distancing themselves. And it sounds like they have political futures in mind.
Well, I know Ivanka does. That has been talked about long before her father even lost the election. Running for, Senate, for Congress anyway, down in Florida. And then they were so ostracized by the whole society that they hung out in, I guess you could say, in New York, that they really didn't feel they could go back to New York. So yes, I think they've purposely. And then let's face it, once everything hit the fan, poor Jarrett was another scapegoat. So yeah, they've, and I don't think now this is just a story. It's just a rumor. Ivanka and Melania did not get along, and so why hole yourself up? I don't care how beautiful Mar-a-Lago might be. You don't want to be because they're kind of like trapped in there.
I've been there, not inside, of course, but I mean, I've driven past it because I went to a job interview in West Palm Beach, and it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely stunning. It's everything you think it would be. But you're right; it's the walls actually made me feel like if I was on the other side of them, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel.
Well, in the fact, they can't go anywhere. It'd be one thing to live there and be able to come and go as you please, but, it doesn't matter what the walls are. The public opinion wall is there, and you are not, you might be free to come and go, but you certainly wouldn't feel free to come and go.
It's like the Hotel California.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Check out anytime you want, but you never leave.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but I was surprised when I read that, and like I said, I saw it in a couple sources, and I thought,
I did too.
When this grows legs, we'll talk about it. But I don't know what all that leads to. I saw the straw poll the other day said DeSantis is really looking like the candidate that a lot of Republicans want to run for president. I personally don't think if Trump runs for president, I don't think he has the intention of being president again. I really don't. And I know that's going to upset a lot of Trump supporters, but I don't think he does. Now, I think he's probably fine with throwing his 2 cents in and having plenty of supporters. But honestly, who the hell would want to be the president? That job stinks. That job stinks. Everyone, half of America hates you. Adamantly. And I don't care if you're Biden or Obama or Trump or Bush or anybody. Essentially half of your country has strong feelings against you, and then some are crazy for you that probably is troublesome in some ways to a lot of people.
Would be.
And then you have to essentially make everyone happy, or at least try to, in your party, which you never can. And I want to talk about that before the show's out. We got, again, a pile of stuff, and we're not going to get to it all. But yeah, I don't think I'd want that job for anything. Well, let's just stay here then, since it's already 25 after. And let's talk about that. You said something yesterday, and it was the first thing you said, and I thought, I never really took that into consideration of how bad it would be, but you absolutely nailed it. AOC very mad.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I mean, the infrastructure. We saw one day. Yesterday's show was so positive. It was so positive. It's like, look at this. There's 10 people from different sides of the aisle working together, and even Joe Biden comes out and says, we did it. We have a deal.
Yeah. Well,
short-lived.
Counting your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah, I mean, kind of short-lived. So then you have the really left-leaning liberals. I mean, she blasted the 10 bipartisan senators, saying, well, this is what you get when you have no diversity on the committee. Well,
honey, all you had to do was join them. This was not by invitation only. All she had to do was join them.
it's easier to sit back and complain.
Absolutely.
It's easier to sit back and complain. And, you know, again, yesterday had that glimmer of we got something done collectively as a group. I mean, whether you're for it or against it, whether you wanted it to be 2 trillion or 1 trillion or whatever, I felt like, an inch forward. Okay, these are our elected officials. If we don't like who they are, then we need to change them as a society. But it happened. It happened. You had 10 people get together, different sides of the aisle, worked with President Biden, and there you go, right around 1 trillion, just shy of 1 trillion, which at one point they wanted 2 trillion. So to me, that says that Democrats were on the side of willing to give more. And I think the Republicans met them there. And that's okay. To me, that's okay, because a lot of this stuff is the basic stuff. And if you want to go after and fight over the other things, then make them separate fights.
Oh, well, they are. They're going after reconciliation. Pelosi's already said, we won't vote for this unless all the Democrats band together and we go after reconciliation and get the rest of it done. Damn you, woman. I have never been a Nancy Pelosi fan at all.
I can't imagine she has that many.
Well, I don't know. She keeps getting reelected.
Yeah, true.
But, this is the slap in the face to Biden, to that coalition that got together and got something done. And you're gonna take the progressive side of it and say it's our way or no way. I have no words.
Well, but I have plenty of friends that vote Democrat. I have plenty of friends that vote Democrat. And I think between Pelosi being who she is and AOC being who she is and that whole squad, I think it's making a lot of my friends that vote Democrat go, I don't want to pull that lever again. I don't want to pull that lever again, because you don't know what you're going to get. Like, you have, when Bernie Sanders was the constant of who was probably the most furthest left-leaning, whether, he has a lot of support by people. And again, I think the guy does one thing. I mean, he's not somebody I would want to be president, but he is somebody that I can look at and go, he does seem to have a plan. I don't like it, but he does. He comes in armed with information. And I appreciate anybody who comes in armed with information. This is how I think this is going to work. Let's look at this. This is how I broke it down. I can appreciate that. I don't want it, but I can appreciate it. The other super left leaning in this squad group, they're a shotgun blast. It's like it's a little over here and a little over here, and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. Well, what the hell are you doing? You're not making this any better. At least this guy who I don't like comes in with a plan that he thinks is legit, but at least it's information. Their information is just whatever they think, whatever they tweet.
See, you said, people may not vote Democrat again. The problem for me with that is I really can't support the other side because I find them to be too rigid, and truthfully, some of them are just bloody mean-spirited.
No, I agree, and that's where I'm finding myself, Lowell. I mean, the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene votes the same way I do bothers the hell out of me in so many ways.
Well, and the problem too is the Democrats that I want to represent me, represent my values, are the ones that I vote for, because that's all you can vote for.
Sure.
So, it's each district has to decide, is these policies what represent me? And, AOC is New York, Manhattan, So, yes, they're going to, she's going to represent them. Although it's interesting that you have her on one side, and so far the leader of the primary in New York City for mayor is, I think he's an ex-cop, really firmly behind the police department, law and order, all that kind of stuff. So it's almost this comparison of just really different values and ideas. It is shocking. But, look at some of these senators. They come from states that are basically Republican and have Republican legislatures, and yet they continue, Manchin, for one, continues to get elected from the other side. So it's a dichotomy.
Yeah, it is. It's a strange feeling. It's a strange feeling. And that's why I feel like somehow, I don't know when, I don't know what year, I don't think it'll be this upcoming cycle, but I just feel like somehow we're going to end up with a third party. I don't know what it comes out of, but I feel like we are.
See, and that scares me because all that's going to do is split up everybody.
Yeah, no, I know. It is. It's all scary. We got somebody online. We also have a break coming up, but we'll try to get to them right now before we go.
It's Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Rick. AOC, she represents part of Queens and part of Brooklyn, okay? Eric Adams is the guy who was a cop. He had to quit the force. I can hear myself in the background.
Turn your radio
down.
down.
Force
yeah, turn your radio
down.
Because
he was being investigated, okay? All the cops hate him. Anyways, he's the borough president of Brooklyn. Okay, he got 30% of this vote this time. And the other two that's on the Democratic side. The other two is Maya Wiley, who AOC is supporting. She wants to take the guns away from the cops in New York City. That's her platform. And then there's another one, Garcia. She worked for Warner Wilhelm, also known as Bill de Blasio, so you don't want her. Now, on the Republican side, you have an outstanding guy, Curtis Sliwa, the founding member of the Guardian Angels. He gets 70% of the Republican vote. Eric Adams, the phony fraud who lives in New Jersey, got 30% of the Democratic vote. But they have that really crazy type of voting in New York City, and you won't know who the Democrat person is going to run is until 3 or 4 weeks from now. It's really weird.
New York is a weird place. And I will say this, because we are going to go up against a break here, so I don't mean to cut you off, but we're just out of time. But I will say this. There is no way in hell that anybody in New York City who is a cop would be a cop if they were supposed to go out there and do cop things without guns. So that will never happen. I feel like you'll probably be with me on this. It's probably going to be our last thought here as the break is coming up. I don't want to hear from anybody trying to get rid of guns that are protected by other people who carry guns to protect them. Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about it, because if you have someone standing in front of you with a gun, making sure that I don't have a gun to protect you, while you tell me that cops shouldn't have guns, I just think your point is worthless. You know, it's like that's heinous. And I feel bad. I feel bad for some of these cities, although they put themselves in this situation where they have just. I mean, there are some things happening, especially in Portland. And again, we can't go that far into it because the break's coming. But I mean, some of these cities put themselves in this situation, and I honestly don't think they could kiss enough cop ass to get cops to want to do cop things anymore. Yeah, I agree.
Warren Wilhelm. She's real name.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are allowing cities to beat cops' morale so low that they don't want to be police officers, and I certainly don't want to see what's going to happen if we don't have law enforcement officers. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it, but the break is coming. Thanks, my friend. Have a good weekend. All right, we are going to hit that break, and we will be back to get a few more things in before the end of the show right here on the Watchdog.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. State School Superintendent Clayton Birch says right now he would have to give the state schools for the deaf and blind a failing grade.
We can do so much better, and the expectations there should be so much better. With so few students, if you choose to send your child there, you should expect the absolute best education, best facilities, and honestly, the best future plans for your child.
Birch from Metro News Talkline earlier today, a day after a report was released in connection with a recent review of the operation in Romney. Governor Jim Justice has a message for the latest knights and ladies of the Golden Horseshoe.
Just come up with some way somehow to stay here in this great state, and absolutely invest in their communities and make this great state even richer in every way.
Justice delivering that message via video today to the top performing 8th graders who scored the highest on the Golden Horseshoe West Virginia history exam. 3 separate in-person ceremonies are being held in Charleston today. A federal prosecutor has indicated he will charge former state lawmaker Derek Evans through an information in connection with the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. That information process indicates Evans is cooperating with prosecutors. A Cabell County Circuit judge says a man's going to prison for the rest of his life after his conviction on 20 criminal counts, including attempted murder. Jeremy Bartram was sentenced today. Police hunted for him for a week after the 2018 shooting in Barbersville. Again, sentenced today in Cabell County Circuit Court. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Very little movement today in COVID-19 case numbers in West Virginia. The state DHHR reports only 60 new cases in the past 24 hours and no additional deaths. The North Marion High School baseball team has never appeared in the state tournament until today. Now the Huskies are headed to the AA title game after defeating Independence 7-2. They'll take on either Herbert Hoover or Logan tomorrow. Now, those two teams are playing this hour. You can watch the game at WVMetroNews.com. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. After day one of the Travelers Championship on the PGA Tour, Kramer Hickok and Satoshi Kodara led at 7 under par through day number 1. Taylor Gooch was third. He was at 6 under, while 5 other golfers were tied at 5 under par. Round number 2 is underway today in Cromwell, Connecticut. The NASCAR Cup Series is set for a weekend doubleheader at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania. Pocono Organic CBD 325 will race tomorrow afternoon, while on Sunday it's the Explorer, the Pocono Mountains 350. Both races can be seen on NBC SN. 2 games are on schedule today in the College World Series. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog.
G'day, mate. As an Australian, I'm a croc expert. Crikey, get him away from me. I mean Crocs, like the footwear. And as a croc expert, I have to say I like foamies from Skechers bloody better. Because foamies have that stylish, trendy look, plus Skechers' world-famous comfort. All for a price that's down under the competition. Skechers is a comfort technology company, and foamies have comfort innovations your whole family will love. Foamies are ultra-lightweight, water-friendly footwear that are flexible and breathable. Perfect for kicking it by the pool, grilling on the barbie, or comfy enough to go on a walkabout. Plus, only foamies come with fits and features like Arch Fit with podiatrist certified support. And and max cushioning that feels like you're walking on big puffy marshmallows. And foamies are perfect to keep you cool this summer or warm in the winter, which is great because it's actually winter in Australia right now. Good on you, Skechers. So get yourself some machine washable foamies by Skechers and don't get bit by Crocs. He's a mean fella. Find foamies at Skechers.com, a Skechers store, or wherever styling.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The Ohio Valley Rib and Chicken Cook-Off is back, featuring the best ribs your taste buds can handle. Come on down to Wheeling's Heritage Port June 25th and 26th to see who can win the coveted Karen Bauer Trophy. Admission is free, so stop by for live music, free cornhole tournament, beer garden, and more. The Ohio Valley Rib and Chicken Cook-Off, June 25th and 26th at Wheeling's Heritage Port.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for a statewide talk line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
I can't allow this to go underappreciated on so many levels, what Lola just did there. I woke up this morning, and this morning was Judgment Day. It's one of the lines in that song by Prince. And Prince is from Minneapolis. You just crushed the day.
Thank you. Yes, of course, that's how I planned it.
I figured you did.
Of course.
Gosh, that was outstanding. Outstanding. Never let that go underestimated. We've all had this dream. Tie game, bottom of the ninth, bases are loaded. Well, on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can get more than just one shot to swing for the fences because FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free. That's right. New users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. And it only gets better from there. Check out FanDuel's new promo live every Tuesday. $5 Dinger Tuesdays. Place a $25 wager on any player to hit a home run on Tuesday and get a $5 bonus site credit for every home run that's hit in the game. So not by him, not by that player, just in the game total, up to $25. You know, if you love to watch baseball, you love betting baseball, Tuesdays is your day. If you limit yourself to only one baseball bet a week, why wouldn't it be Tuesdays? That's amazing. You could just sit there and cha-ching all the way up to $25. There is a reason FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook app. The app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and always-on promotions to let you give more action out of every game. And when you win, FanDuel will pay out your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code RICK to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code RICK. Spell it R-I-C. Must be 21 and over, present in West Virginia. First online real money wager, only for risk-free bet. Refund and bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires within 7 days. Max bonus of $25 per game. Restrictions do apply. See terms and conditions at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Visit www.1800gambler.net. Yeah, I just didn't want Lola. I did not want people to not realize how impactful you playing that song was. I normally towards the end of the show, I like to just talk about sports, but there was just so much real stuff to talk about today, and I wanted to mention this too. For when we were talking about Nancy Pelosi, as much as I hate talking about her because to hear her voice makes me want to shrivel up and fall in the corner. She announced a select committee to probe the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Again, I stand astonished at not understanding why everyone doesn't want to know how it happened. But that was quickly put down. Nope. The same people waving the Blue Lives Matter flag, which I do believe that cops' lives certainly do matter, are also the people that don't want to know what the hell happened that killed a cop. My mind is blown. How do you get to be both?
Again, there are no words.
Yeah, it just was like, so I will say this, and I don't know what will happen with this. I don't know if it goes somewhere positive. I don't know anything, I don't know anything about what happens with this select committee on this January 6th attack probe. But we deserve to know. The people deserve to know. The people that don't want to know, I don't understand. But you know what? As we the people, I think we deserve to know. If it was an inside job by somebody, we deserve to know because we should find out who that person is. And they should go to jail. Straight up.
Well, the one officer now that is filing suit, he said, if you don't want this to happen, then what are you so afraid of that might come out? Because that would be the only thing that could make you not want this to happen, is that there's something that, you're afraid it's going to come out. And not only for the people, but for the poor officers and guardsmen that were there. They deserve to know the truth. They deserve to know where the breakdown was. And, how can they continue to do their job when they don't know if somebody's going to have their back?
I agree. I mean, we were just talking before the break about police morale. And, if we keep beating up on police, but also when police die, we don't want to find out why. The cops are getting it from both sides. In my opinion, cops are getting it from both sides.
Oh, absolutely,
And
they are.
I watched I think it was on CBS, on one of the CBS sites that I follow on socials, and I watched this interview with a cop in Portland. And he was like, "We just don't. It's very hard to come in here. I can't even imagine. I mean, it's hard to do this job when you're having a bad day and you're going to talk about bad things. That's difficult. I can't imagine what it's like to leave your house. You strap on a bulletproof vest and go out there, and especially in Portland, knowing what could happen today. I don't know. Is every officer should be an officer? No. But I think officers are inherently good. I absolutely do. I think they're in it for the right reasons.
You know, all these people that are belly aching about cops, who's the first thing they do when something bad happens to them? They call 911.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so don't be such a hypocrite.
Well, even in that, in the Chad zone, remember, was it Chad? Or was that what it was called?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever that thing was in Portland where they all locked themselves in this, where this is our area and the autonomous zone.
Yeah.
You know, they got into fights in there and they called the police to come and break them up even though it was a police-free zone. I mean, obviously when you do that, you're just an idiot. I mean, you're just an idiot. There's no way to curb how stupid that is. This zone is cop-free except when we need them.
Yeah. Well, that's how all these people think.
I know.
Defund the police, but let somebody break into your house.
Yeah. Yeah, because I imagine a lot of those people that are crying defund the police don't have the means or ability or mental, and I'm not saying that I do. This isn't a come to my house, I'll shoot you kind of thing. This is if you come into my house and you're threatening my life, I am going to defend myself. A lot of those people who want the police defunded would never know what to do if someone broke into their house other than call the police and hope they get there in time. Like, that's it. It's just the damn dumbest thing. All right, done with political talk.
Okay.
We got a couple more minutes. Do we need to clear another break?
Yeah.
Okay, let's clear this break. We'll come back and we will finish up right here on the Watchdog.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talkline. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
We live for piles of paper, countless calculations, and exact on-the-button balances. More than a phone call at the end of the year to make sure you're square with Uncle Sam. We're an internal resource to run payroll, manage bookkeeping, handle accounts payable, prep and file taxes, and consult for the long-term financial health of your business. Always exact, Glessner and Associates.
She's a good girl, loves her mom, loves Jesus, in America too. She's a good girl, is crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. And it's a long day, living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard, and I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. Now I'm free, free falling.
Up, getting ready to wrap up today's show. Sorry, Lowell. I'll file this under the I don't know why I care, but it hit me and I care. Last night, Conan O'Brien said goodbye after nearly 30 years, a run at television, late night host. And it's not a show that I've watched any time recently, but I've always, because really I don't stay up that late. I can't. But I do care. Conan O'Brien, I think, to me, was so brilliant on The Simpsons. At the time, he was just kind of a little-known comedy writer. And he just flourished. He wrote one of the best episodes of The Simpsons, one of my favorite ever. I love The Simpsons for the musical performances, because those are the things about The Simpsons. I mean, the song, I could sing so many of The Simpsons songs, and one of them was Marge versus the Monorail. Remember, it was the shiesty salesman came to town after Springfield had a financial windfall and built a monorail, terribly constructed, and you can guess what happens in the other 22 minutes. But it was a brilliant episode, and the majority of it was written by Conan O'Brien. And he goes on, obviously, to have to replace, I think it was David Letterman, that he ended up replacing in late night TV. It wasn't the easiest of start, but he did capture so many audiences. He was bizarre. He was quirky. Andy Richter was perfect for the show. Added something. I mean, they were a great buddy comedy act. And for Conan to be not on, it's something that kind of sat in the back of my mind is, well, Conan will always be on TV. And last night it came to an end. So happy trails to Conan O'Brien. I don't know what happens to his career next. I don't think he has to do anything.
He's getting some type of talent show thing next year.
Oh, okay. So he's going to take some time off, and then will be popped back up on TV. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Conan O'Brien was just absolutely brilliant. His final show included goodbyes, and this is something that I thought was pretty neat. I didn't see it as it happened, but I did watch it. His exit interview with Homer Simpson. And he referenced the monorail episode. He was like, I was even a monorail conductor. That was a really stupid idea. So it was kind of fun. So thanks for the laughs, Conan. We appreciate it. Lowell and I are finished for the day. Go out and enjoy the rib and chicken cook-off at Heritage Port. We'll talk to you guys on Monday right here on The Watchdog.